are now tuned in to Sippin' with Sky.
What up? It's your boy Sky, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sippin' with Sky. And today, I have a local legend from the 805, my boy, Rico Rangel.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Man, you were actually one of the first people that helped me put this little studio together, and you were supposed to be one of the first people on the podcast.
And here I am. Finally, though.
Finally.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, thanks for having me again, man. I appreciate it.
Man, it's an honor to have you, man. You've actually, you and Mambo both inspired me to get this whole podcast started.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, every single time I went on the air, you always gave me so much confidence.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, all right. If Rico, and I was like, if Mambo's always talking trash, right?
Yes. And he does a damn good job of it, too.
He does a great job, right? and you know, even he was like, man, you're pretty good. And then when he left out of town and me and you did a segment together.
Right.
You know, you sent him a message saying, damn, Sky did a great job. And then honestly, that kind of boosted my confidence.
You know, it's not, radio is not for everyone. And what I mean by that is that you've got to walk in with some kind of confidence already. And it's, you know, a lot of people say, well, I can go in there and I can do that. And okay, well, let's go. Well, you know, today I can't because, you know, you hear all the excuses and the backpedaling and stuff like that. But it's weird when it's only a few of you in a small room. But then when you think of who's listening, you know, where, you know, let's say there's more than 10 people listening, that freaks people out, you know. So you've got to walk in already with a little bit of confidence. And I remember that time when it was just you and I that did it. And it was like you carried the ball like you've been doing it for a long time. So I commend you on that, man. That was good. You know,
I think I learned so much by listening to you guys, because I've been a listener to you guys since, like, let me throw it back. I was like a kid.
Wow. Good
literally,
out.
This is like high school, like
Wow.
early high school too. This is like freshman year. I started listening to you guys, and so then I was always like, I always kind of heard you guys, and the crazy part is, as I was like, because I'm learning by observing, right? Because I'm like okay, but a lot of times what was crazy is when I was growing up, I thought a lot of your segments weren't real, because it was too good. Like, to me, a lot of the segments were just too funny. It was like, oh, they must have like made that up, or like some of the dilemmas, or it's made up.
Right.
And then it wasn't until you guys actually, like, I was there and you guys showed me, hey, these are real messages being sent in.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of the jokes that were being made back and forth. Right. And then how Mambo's always going off about your ex-wife and this.
Yeah,
and
he always brings up my ex-wife. I don't know why. You know what? And here's the thing is I'm surprised that she's never sent any kind of letter saying, hey, don't ever, you know, speak of me again. And we've been good ever since. I mean,
wow.
You know, but I'm going to say that 99.9% of the time it's improv. It's total improv that we do. And I think that over the years we've developed, obviously, the chemistry, thank God, because a lot of duos and bigger teams on radio don't last for as long as we have. We're going on 25 years now.
That's crazy.
And it's difficult for people to get along. I mean, what we have at work, and it's a second marriage. You know, he's married. I have my wife. I'm married. I've been married for 20 years. But, you know, what we have, that's a whole other marriage, and which means that, you know, I don't want to say there's arguments, there's disagreements that we have, and we do get pissed off at one another sometimes, you know, especially when I screw up or whatever. But, you know, the thing is, and I've always said this for a long, long time, is that we're like two kids in a sandbox. We're going to get pissed off, throw sand at each other, but at the end of the day or the next day, we're going to end up right back in that damn sandbox playing again together. So that's how we've done it.
And it's funny you mention that, because I've noticed days that Mambo's a little pissed off at you about something.
Right.
He'll be mean as fuck.
Oh yeah. He's a pit bull.
Yeah.
He really is. He's a pit bull. But, you know, at the end of the day, you just, I don't know, kind of like, you don't have to answer this, but kind of like what we all do whenever our wives or significant others pissed off at us, we just like, okay, well, they'll get over it.
Yeah, and the other thing is if you get pissed off and the temperature goes up from both people, that's no good.
No, most of the time, but sometimes it can also make for some damn good radio. Some
controversial on the radio. It's funny though.
It can make up for some real good radio, So you just can't. You can't let it get too personal.
Yeah.
For me, when things don't go my way on the radio, I take it personal to this day. And I'm trying to be better, but it's just not. I mean, I've been doing radio since, what year were you born?
82.
Okay, yeah. So you were still a baby when I started doing radio.
What was it, like 89 or 88?
So, yeah, late 88. Maybe, 88, 89, 88, I think, yeah.
That's funny. My family originally bought Happy Place craft beer. It was called Sam's Adequate Liquor.
Right.
Same time you were in the radio.
Wow.
And before you were in the radio industry, weren't you in the alcohol delivery, Basso?
Yeah, well, I used to work for a company called Lago Marcinos, and we were a Miller beer distributorship. And I started doing that when I was 21. So I was doing radio, and then I was doing radio at night and working the beer business during the day. And then that went on for a while. Then I left radio, did the beer biz. Then, I started doing both of them again. And, Mambo and I started working nights together. So I was doing, radio again at night, the beer biz during the day. And that was hell, man. I did that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many years we did that.
That's crazy.
But it was a very busy life.
Well, talking about the beer industry, I was really excited today when I asked you, are we drinking Perrier's or are you down to drink a beer with me? Because I know you only have 1 or 2 beers a year.
if that.
So I'm excited. So I brought out I know you like light, refreshing beers.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring something you probably, I know you've never tried.
Right.
So this is Bottle Logic. It's Cantrip Kolsh. So it's a light German-style ale.
Okay.
So let's give this a shot, brother.
All right.
See what we think.
Perfect. Now remember, guys, I drink once in a blue moon. But this is it right here, sipping with Sky.
That's right, baby. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Oh, okay.
Delicious, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is really good.
A lot of light beers, sometimes they have the end bitterness or that taste that lingers on. This one almost just like...
This one doesn't.
No.
At all.
It's delicious.
Wow.
Honestly, what's crazy about this company, Bottle Logic, they're out of Orange County. I used to go pick up beer from them back in the day, and now their service is that'll deliver it to us.
Right.
But we're buying directly from the brewery. And this is one of those breweries I was always chasing after, going out to pick up.
Right.
But they make great light beers. They make great heavy beers, stouts. Mambo loves their stouts. And it's funny because you knew Mambo forever, and he never drank any craft beer before.
Right, exactly.
He was a Modelo man, and that was it.
Exactly. And now he's a fan. He's a huge fan of all these beers. And back when all this started, well, shit, I was in the beer biz when Sam Adams was considered a microbrewery.
Wow.
I don't know what they're considered. Are they even still around? Or?
Yeah. Sam Adams is around. The thing is they still do pretty well overall nationwide.
Right.
But the thing is, this is like when you come to a store like ours, we may or may not even carry them because we carry more specialized craft beer.
Okay.
So then when Sam Adams you can find everywhere, and when people come to Happy Place, they want to find something they can't find anywhere else.
Right.
And so for us to carry so much, thousands of different SKUs, we have to eliminate certain ones. So we'll carry Sam Adams once in a while throughout the year, like when they have their special releases.
Right.
But it's hard to carry them on a shelf every day when there's all these small microbreweries that are just crushing it.
Right. Yeah, this is a real good one, man. I haven't had a beer like this in forever. I mean, seriously.
I think one of the problems when even people recommend beer is they'll recommend a beer that they like versus a beer that you will like.
Right. And see, that's the great thing that I always hear about you is that, in coming in here to your store is that you've always got recommendations. You're the pro. And I'm like, damn, that means that he's got to taste every single one of these beers
No, you mean I get to, bro. I get to. I get to.
And you have the honor to recommend, beers to people, to someone like me who doesn't know, who's, somewhat oblivious, because I've been out of the beer biz for years and years now. I can't even remember how long.
How long total did you work for Lago Marciano?
I did about 11, 12 years, something like that. Yeah,
it's funny. I did 11 or 12 years. Like he went to jail for 11 or 12 years.
It was a great time, man. It was a great time.
So I've heard about some amazing stories about him, but I didn't get any detail because Chuck Teal would always laugh and say, "Oh my God, the stories I have," but he never shared a single story.
Right.
You have to share one crazy or fun, exciting story you had when you were not married and you were hanging out with Chuck Teal.
Oh man. So Chuck and I started on the exact same day. He's a little brother to me. I can say that we learned the beer business together for the first 10 years. I know he's still in it. It was the trade, meaning all the stores being out, in the trade, was a complete playground. And Chuck was a wild guy.
Yeah. He was? He was? Or he is? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I haven't hung around him in a long time, but yeah. I can't. Sorry, Chuck. I'm just not going to put you out there, man. So, yeah.
Okay. How about putting yourself out there? Come on. You got to tell us some juicy stuff that happened in the beer industry.
You know what? I think one of probably the craziest and stupidest thing that happened is during fiestas in Santa Barbara one time. It was always a battle between Miller and Budweiser and who can put up more point of sale, more decorations, in the bars. So what ended up happening is that there was this a Budweiser guy from the Santa Barbara office who got pissed off at myself and the guy that was with me, who was Ivan Gonzalez. And so, here's this big dude. He approaches me right on State and Ortega Street, and he says, "Hey, man, you're taking down all my shit." And I'm like, you're full of it. You're whatever. We got, into it verbally, and then he throws a punch. He sucker punches me, hits me right here.
Oh, wow.
I started swinging. Next thing you know, I'm on top of him. I've got his arms crossed, and I'm just beating the crap out of him.
Wait, is this the same Rico I know? Whoa, bro.
I'm telling you, it's stupid. But so I guess in the midst of however I got him down, all right, he ended up breaking his knee, or he had a fracture, his knee was fractured or whatever. So he was out of work for a while. While I was beating his ass, I remember the guy who was with me, who was an up-and-coming boxer at the time, was telling his homie, if you get in, you see the way your boy's getting beat, that's what I'm going to do to you too. So I'm like, I could hear all this going on in the background, you know what I mean? So I was just, anyways, long story short, cops show up. The news guy is there.
Wait, the news guy shows up? The news anchor and everything?
Yeah, it was. I'm telling you, it was pretty embarrassing.
And were you guys wearing your uniforms and everything?
Hell yeah. Yeah, it was so stupid, But, then the cop says, "Hey, do you want to press charges on him?" and all this other stuff. And I'm like, "No, let's just call it a day. Let's all go home, right?" So they called it mutual combat. Done. Go home.
Well, they don't do that anymore. They're taking everybody to jail now, right?
That was a long time ago. But that was probably, and you know what? Anytime that you got to go to State Street in Santa Barbara, for fiestas, if you went with Chuck, good luck. It was an adventure.
Wow.
It was an adventure.
I could imagine, because he's got that energy, you know what I mean? I always enjoyed, he would come over here, and when he started taking over our account was when he was with Pac Bev.
Okay.
Right? And he would come in and he'd be like, "Yo, Sky, I know you like craft beer. Check this out." And then he'd bring a brand new release from Firestone.
Right.
That, back then it was like, oh my God.
Right.
And we'd come back in the office, which is now the studio.
Right.
And we would drink all kinds of different beers, and sometimes it got a little carried away.
Yeah, Chuck has always lived life to the fullest, and I've always admired that about him. Is that he? I don't want to say he didn't care, but he's a happy guy, man.
Yeah,
yeah. He's always been like that.
He's a fun guy. You liked hanging around with him.
Oh yeah, and you want to be with Chuck.
Yeah,
he's a real good guy, man. So we had a lot of good times, man. A lot of good times. So, whether we were out delivering beer together, and eventually, so we started off merchandising, which we'd go to the stores and set up their displays, or, put up point of sale, all the signs and stuff like that. We started off doing that, and then he eventually worked his way into driving the big semis and delivering kegs and all kinds of stuff like that. And then I moved into running the merchandising department and just kind of grew with the company like that. But I did that, I want to say 11, 12 years, something like that. So. And
you're doing it simultaneously while you're on the radio.
Doing radio. Yeah. And then I met my ex-wife and got married. And then she says, okay, you're not doing radio anymore.
Oh, wow. She stopped you from doing radio?
Yeah. She hated me doing radio. She hated me doing
all that
radio.
Attention that you get on the radio, huh?
Whatever. I don't know. So dumb. I mean, look at me. This right here, you see this? This is exactly why I do radio and not TV. Now you know.
You got a face for the radio.
Exactly. We'll just keep it at that. So, but yeah, no. So I left radio for a while, and then I was just doing the beer biz, and then after that, I couldn't. That wasn't my ultimate happiness. Radio was my happiness.
Yeah.
So I got back into radio, and I quit the beer biz altogether.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you're in a relationship where somebody's not allowing you to be yourself,
right,
it's not going to work out.
Well, so my now wife, I remember telling her, and it's kind of stupid, but whatever, it's worked for us, and that I told her, I said, look, I'm married to my job. Understand that. I'm married to my job. So if you want to be my Sancha, if you want to be my sidekick, we can make it a run. Bro, she's, here we are 20 going on. We've been together for 20 plus years, but, she understood. And it's not, I just had this conversation with a buddy of mine who's also on radio, and he's got a syndicated show. And, I was telling him that it's not easy to do what we do, but on the other hand, it's also not easy to be the spouse of someone who's in radio, just because, it's different, man. It's very different. And there's got to be a lot of understanding. There's got to be a lot of, like, I don't agree with what you said or with what you did, but I understand. Yeah. So,
because at the end of the day, you're putting on a show for the audience.
Thank you.
And sometimes you're saying stuff that the audience want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And it doesn't have to be 100% what's on your mind.
Right.
But it's something that's entertaining.
Right. And you got to keep that going too. So, my wife, I'll get home sometimes and my wife will say, when it starts off with so, I'm like, oh shit, here it comes.
Here we go again.
Exactly. So, you really don't like to hang around with me, or maybe something that Mambo said, And so I'll just say, oh, babe, come on, consider the source. That's my way out. Then I walk away. But, I've always said that, and this is probably a bad example now, but Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't going around blowing up everything in real life.
Yeah. I like that.
He's got stuff that he does on TV, the movies or whatever, and then he's got his real life. So, it's radio. It's entertainment. You know? So
I like the way you put that, because that's the thing is people need to separate, and the thing is obviously there's truths to the radio. There's a lot of the truth, but then sometimes some things get exaggerated and some people take it out of proportion, and people are getting hurt for really no reason.
Absolutely. So this may be the truth, but on the radio, this is the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So nobody wants to hear, yeah, my car's red. Somebody would rather hear, I've got a candy apple cherry car with, and then you go into details.
Yeah.
So people just don't want to hear that you got a red car. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah, end of dot, period.
Yeah.
Done.
And you're going to say, this thing glitters like the star on...
Exactly.
On a a special night or whatever. Yeah.
For example, I used to have a Mazda it was a 1982 Mazda RX-7 in which I went to the prom in back in high school. But
so you've been rich since you was a young kid.
No,
man.
What's
up with it?
No, dude. Listen. This thing was I used to call it the Maserati.
Okay.
This thing was so bootleg. It backfired upon. Oh, dude, it was just the worst. It was the worst thing. But to everybody else, I had a, I'd say Maserati.
Maserati. Okay,
It was a Mazda. But so it was the truth, but maybe not the whole truth. So it's kind of like the movies. That's the best way I can put it. When they say based on a true story, there you go.
So you're in the beer industry,
right?
You're doing the radio. Actually, before you're in the beer industry, you had a Maserati, and then you got in the beer industry. You got into the radio industry, and then you kind of paved a lot of people don't really know about it, but you have a business in the music industry.
Yeah. I have I do sound, stage, and lighting for smaller concerts. So I provide if you're gonna have a concert somewhere, a band is gonna play somewhere. We provide the stage for it. We also have all the speakers, the microphones. We got a drum kit, a bass rig, and a guitar amp. And my crew and I, we go in and we set everything up so that basically musicians can walk on stage and play and walk off.
Let them do what they do,
yeah,
and you take care of the rest.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny because, to be honest with you, I'm going to say about 90% of the time, nobody knows. They don't make the connection of what I do during the day versus what I do, as my side.
As your business.
As my business, yeah. So
it's kind of cool how you're able to still stick within your passion of music and the industry and create your own business while you're still on the hottest radio station in the 805.
I'm a blessed guy, dude. I'm a blessed guy. Sometimes I ask myself, what am I going to do when I grow up? I can't, even in the beer business, that wasn't a job.
It's fun.
I used to look forward to getting into work and, punching in at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, whatever time I had to get there. And it was, I don't know, man. I've always lived in a playground, so to speak. So it's always been a playground for me, and radio is nothing different. It's a playground.
I feel you, man, because when you do something you love, it doesn't even feel like you're working.
Right.
And, I've had Happy Place for 17 years now.
Wow. Good for you.
And this is what we got to do right here, bro.
Yeah,
cheers, man.
Yeah.
We got to try new beers, drink with my friends. This is my form of education, It is, right?
If this is what it's got to be, this is what it's got to be. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I've always said that, we've been fortunate enough to go talk to a lot of kids in college, and we always tell them, do something you love and you will never work a day in your life. And it's true. That's why sometimes I really do mean it when I say, what am I going to do when I grow up? Shit, at the end of the day, the truth is I don't ever want to grow up.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for somebody to pinch me and say, "Hey, man, this has all been a dream. That's it. Dream is over. Wake up. Go get a job." I'm like, hell no, man.
Well, talking about dreams, let's talk about nightmares. Just recently, through COVID, your business has been through a nightmare.
Yes.
To say the least.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people whose business has been very successful through COVID. I mean, fortunately, the alcohol industry has been great.
Right.
But your industry, which we're all dying to go out to a concert, to go somewhere with our friends and go party, your industry's been pretty much almost annihilated.
So with my sound and lighting company, yes, there are some people who have survived and been able to hire people to come and work with them. But there's also been a lot more companies that have shut down and just liquidated everything. They just got rid of everything because they couldn't do any more concerts. They couldn't do anything. Last year, I was on task to do probably my biggest year to date. I had a lot of dates booked. In the end, I only did 2.
Wow.
So this was going to be 2020 was set out to be the most incredible year that my company's ever had. And unfortunately, it just, COVID hit. And, that was the time we were all trying to figure out what was going on. Because my stuff is seasonal. Obviously, it's all done outdoors. So because of that, and it's in crowds. So we couldn't have outdoors. We couldn't do crowds. We couldn't, there's just stay within your family. And, so it was just, it really killed everything. The great thing is, where I'm fortunate is that, a lot of my stuff is, I own it all. So I don't have the worry of I've got to pay this bill or that bill. So I'm thankful, and that's what's kind of kept me like, okay, we'll bounce back. We'll be okay.
And you'll actually probably be better off because you're still around.
Yeah.
And hopefully if you plug yourself a little bit better than you do, because to this day, I don't even know your company's name. What's your company's name?
It's called After Hours Productions, ahpsound.com. That's where you can check us out. Also, AHP Sound on Instagram and also on Facebook. So
it's crazy. All these years I've known you, I've never even known the name of your company.
And I'm and look at what I do. I do radio, and I'm probably one of the worst to push myself and doing that stuff, and I couldn't tell you why. I really couldn't.
That's weird because I'm completely opposite. Like any opportunity I get to talk about any of my businesses or my friend's business, like Persistence Culture, right?
Culture, yeah.
Because I'm always repping any of my friend's stuff, any of my own stuff.
Yeah.
Like I put it out there. I want the whole world to know.
Right.
And I would always scratch my head. I'm like, why don't you drop it? Like and the thing is, it's not even like you're dropping it inappropriately. You'll be in a conversation about something and you still mum's the word.
Yeah. I don't know. And I'll say this is that Mambo and I have always had that problem of self-marketing. And I think that in part it's because of how we grew up, just super humble. If you know us, you know us. If you don't, then, hopefully down the road you will get to know us or that you will listen, stuff like that. And I think, I put a lot of blame on that. We sit back and there's a lot of guys that we see who are on the radio who really promote themselves on social media and their websites and stuff like that. And that's great. But, I don't know. We've just never been those guys to ever do it. Even when we first started and things were going really good for us and it's like, man, do we have a chance at doing this or not, or what's going on? And things were, it was just, it's all been a trip and we've never once taken it for granted. So we've always felt blessed more than anything else to do it. So, for as long as we've been doing radio, I really consider us probably the worst marketers for yourself, for ourselves. Yeah, absolutely.
For others is different because you
absolutely.
guys
we love to put you guys out there. Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, I love it because I'm like listening to the Rico Mambo Morning Show when I'm opening up the store, and I'm like doing something. All of a sudden, it's like Mambo goes, "Yeah, you know what? Just go over to Happy Place and tell them that we're doing 20% off tequila today." I'm like, "Okay, I just got the news update that we're doing 20% off of tequila."
So I guess we got to do it.
We got to do it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it was always fun, and it was
and
it was cool because not only do you guys support us, you guys support so many other local businesses.
Yeah.
You guys fought with. Station said we want to do this, and then they agreed. Where you guys do the local Fridays, and you guys bring in local artists. I mean, you guys promote everybody else,
but us,
but yourselves.
All right, Rico and Mambo. All right, RicoandMambo.com. All right, Rico and Mambo on Instagram, Rico and Mambo on Facebook. Look us up, please, and follow us. All right,
there you go, baby. There we go. I think
you don't know what that took.
I gotta say that must have been the first time ever he's putting a plug in for himself.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's too weird. I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it. We're just weird like that.
I mean, I don't understand it either, but I guess.
So getting back to it started off as a local Friday thing where we'd bring in local artists or a local business in on Fridays. Then the pandemic hit, and then that changed over to Monday through Friday. So we have that now. The 805 Spotlight is what we call it. It's on at 805 Q95.9 FM. Download the app.
There we go. There we go.
I'm getting a little bit better. But so we bring in either local artists, someone who's doing good in the community. We also bring in businesses and just, let people know that, hey, we're still here. We're open. This is our business hours. This is what we're doing. And just put out the word, because everybody needs help, and we all gotta help each other out, because if we don't, then that's not good.
And the other thing you guys do is helping the community, like not just businesses, but every single time there's an opportunity, you guys don't even think twice. You guys jump at every opportunity to help every good cause out there. And I see you guys even put your money where your mouth is. That you guys are donating more money, like, to all these causes and donating, buying stuff, when people that are in a much higher financial position wouldn't even think about doing that.
We're blessed, and I keep saying that, but we truly are. We've always said that we're blessed to do what we do, and we rarely put out that we're doing helping out XYZ or certain organization or a certain individual and stuff like that. Just because I remember when Mambo and I first got together on the radio, I always told him, like, if we're going to help someone, let's do it from the heart. And if it gets out, then it gets out. But it's not our job to put it out there that, hey, look.
You're not doing it as a publicity stunt.
Exactly.
You're doing it from the heart.
Exactly.
And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because you guys never talk about it. And I see it because, I'm behind the scenes. I see a lot of stuff that other people don't.
Yeah.
Obviously, me and Mambo's one of my best friends, period. Right. And like I hear about little this or that, and then he usually tells me, hey, somebody's doing this. I'm like, all right, I'm down. I want to help.
Right.
So it's so nice that you guys are doing it. But the other part of me thinking is, if other people see you guys are doing something, that maybe they're going to want to participate a little bit more. Have you ever thought of that side of it?
No, because maybe we've always been selfish like that, that we don't want to.
But I think you've been selfless because you didn't want to make it about you.
Right.
But at the same time, by letting people know that you're involved with an organization or you're helping an organization, it makes other people trust that organization more because they trust you. So that's how it is with me. When Mambo's like talking about an organization and it comes up, like, I'm more willing to write a check or do something as a business owner because I trust you guys. And in return, you guys are vetting out a lot of these companies better than I can vet them out.
Right.
So that's another way on the opposite side of looking at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we've never looked at it like that. Because we've always done things from the heart. Now, granted, we're not giving away, thousands or millions of dollars or anything like that. And there's times, we've said this on the air plenty of times, where we can't give money, but maybe we can help you go wash cars, because we've done that. There's been car washes and we've shown up and, all right, what do we do? And it's not that we're looking to get the attention or anything like that, but Mom will just say, hey, fool, let's go over there, and we'll be there for a couple hours. We do what we got to do, and then we go back to, spending our weekend or whatever it is.
But the thing is, that time you spend doing that and promoting, you guys are going to be there to help out the cause.
Right.
When you're on, hey, come out to the car wash. We'll be out there getting our car washes. Let's go support this family or whatever. Somebody's in need, cancer or death in the family, whatever it is.
Right.
Your time to go somewhere is worth more than $400 or $500, $1,000, because if somebody told you, hey, we want you guys to go run this club tonight, it's going to be a big fee. So it's not like you didn't donate, like you donated your time, but you did it from the heart.
Right.
But financially, it's worth more than a couple $100. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand, and I guess where I have a hard time is that if it comes from the heart, then it's everything is just going to fall right into place where it's supposed to. Now, it may not happen right then and there. It may not happen a year from now, but it's going to eventually it will happen. And guess what? If it doesn't, then it's cool. We know what we did. We had the right intention to do it. And if it sounds boring, sorry about that, guys, but
Nah, man, this is
it's who we
I
are,
think,
though. I mean, seriously.
I think this is cool because a lot of people don't get to see the side about you guys.
Yeah.
They get to see the laughter, the funniness, him talking about your ex-wife like every other day. Right?
Yeah, and we do talk about her quite a bit, by the way.
Yeah, but, I mean, I feel like she's like a part of your show.
I wonder if she knows. Who cares? Anyways, yeah, it's just it's a good time. We have a good time, and when we're off the air, the clowning doesn't stop.
No,
It
it's
keeps
there the
going.
whole time.
It keeps going.
I mean, I've been there from when you guys start till 5, 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part. People don't realize that sometimes, like, I'll be in there till like 5, 6 p.m. with you guys while you're there.
Yeah.
And sometimes Mambo, like, even back in the day, like when I'm working here at the shop, Mambo would cruise up in here at 7, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And people just think like you guys are on the air for a couple hours and that's it.
Yeah.
But then you guys have to do all your other work that people don't see.
Yeah. Everyone thinks that we're only on the air from 6 to 10 a.m. and that is definitely not true. Sometimes, I usually get there between 3:45, 4:30, something like that, depending on what's got to get done. And, people say, well, what time do you leave? And when I'm done. We work basically our own hours as long as we get the show done. But, the company understands us as we understand them. So as long as we're putting out a decent product, I guess, they're good with the flexibility that they give us. They totally trust us. So, when we're off the air, sometimes we got to have breakfast, and those are extended breakfasts, the times. But so it's that give and take. It's that the mutual understanding that we have for one another. And, so it's not, we don't work a 9 to 5, I'll tell you that. Definitely not 9 to 5 or anything like that. But we get in time to do the show, and we get out when we're done with our work. So there's not a set time of, you've got to be there at, 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, whatever it is. But we definitely do not work only from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Well, everyone thinks that you're actually doing.
Misconception, which is what everybody thinks, and that's cool. We're on the air from 6 to 10. That's a guaranteed. After that, who knows? So sometimes we leave early. Sometimes we say, you know what, I'm done. You may not be done, but we're done.
Yeah. And sometimes you guys will take your work home because I know I'm talking to Mambo a lot, and he's just like, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm working. I was like, you still at the station? He's all, nah, man, I'm programming from the house. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I know that he does it. I do it as well. As a matter of fact, when I finish here, I've got to get home and have dinner with the family, and then I get back on the computer and get some other stuff done. So, and not only that, but, because of what we do, we're always looking for something to talk about. So we never really shut down. So we may be out, having dinner with our family, and even though we're with them at that point, we're still working.
Oh yeah.
It's nonstop.
The mind doesn't stop. And then you got to look at, hey, what's the hot news? What just happened? What's the gossip? What do people want to know?
Exactly.
Because you guys are delivering news to people, comedy from people, everything. Talk about comedy. I really loved when you guys used to have all the comedians on the show, man.
Man, I miss that so much. I miss having just guests come in because of, COVID. We had to shut down, people from coming into the studio. But it was, it was always an amazing thing. We never knew where the conversation was going to go because we are on live. And whenever we have comedians, well, they're in a different world as it is already.
I don't even know if this show is already sold out because,
Here to donate my organ.
Oh! Look who's here! Yeah. How do you forget me, cabrones? Nobody decided to do a fluffy check. I woke up, man. It was a scene from the movie Home Alone. You look like Diego. It looks like Diego ate Dora. Huh?
So we are so looking forward to seeing you again tonight, man. It's just like, I don't know. And you know what? I'm saying I'm secure with my manhood, right? But I really want to see all you guys again tonight, man. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's funny you said it like that. I'm really secure in my manhood, but I want to see you guys again tonight.
As he's trying to give you a hickey, huh?
Hey, you know what I love about when you do your shows is the little voices that you use.
Yeah, right?
When you use the oh my God girl, like the
Oh my God. DJ Kid Spin. Oh my God. Spin me. You're hot.
Do me a favor. Look at Kid Spin right in the eye and then say it.
You're hot.
I'm not gonna lie though, Kid Spin is pretty. You are a pretty man, bro. I'm not gay, but if we were in prison, cállate.
And so to bring them into our environment and kind of what we deliver, at first, like when we first met, I'll tell you what was one of the funniest ones. Joey Coco Diaz. I don't know if you've seen his comedy, but he can be pretty damn vulgar. So the first time that he had hit us up and said, hey, I want to come on your fucking show, huh? You gonna let me know, whatever? So we're like, yeah, sure, we'd love to have you, So we were deathly afraid to have him in because we know how vulgar his show is. So when he came on, I had the delay button on. My thumb was on it the whole time. Man, that guy was the most professional guy.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, bro.
Really?
He was beyond perfect. Absolutely. And, I told him during our first commercial break or music break, whatever it was, I said, I got to be honest with you, Joe. I said, we were kind of scared to have you on the air. And he says, hey, man, you got to give me more credit than that, man. I'm a professional. I'm like, well, yeah, but, we just didn't, we don't know. There's other comedians, too, Cory and Chad. A big shout out to you guys. Those guys, if you catch any of their shows.
I think I saw a show that you guys hosted with them at the Ventura Comedy Club back in the day.
Okay.
Right?
Does that? I think it was over at Levity, but.
Okay, could have been Levity.
Okay, but yeah. Those guys are way out there. Those guys are beyond insane. And to have them come in, I'm not going to lie, I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Are we done? And man, those guys came in and just hit it out of the ballpark.
We've known each other for a couple months, and every time I run into you guys, it's always like, hey, what's up, C? Because
Cory and Chad, we know we're not going to screw it up because you guys look so much alike.
Well, all white people look alike, first of all. But it doesn't matter. Just say twins or Chori. It doesn't really matter to us. Chori. Even our drunk mother gets us confused. So.
Your guys' comedy is on a whole different level. Not only is it funny, but it is out there, bro.
Yeah, we do whatever we want when it comes to that.
Yeah,
we're like the Two Life crew of comedy.
There you go.
So you guys made a comment when you guys went up there. It's like people expect like two racist dudes to start going off on the crowd, but you guys like flip it to
it's like not what you guys. I guess what we would expect. This is just like totally different.
Well, by looking at us, you think we're racist, but they have no idea. We know Spanish. We eat, chaparrado and all that, and we're hanging out. We were born in a Latino community, and so they don't expect us to know all that stuff.
Right.
So then we're kind of like Miklo from Blood In, Blood Out.
And not only that, we don't like anything white. Like we don't like bologna or NASCAR. We don't like any of that jazz. We don't even date white girls. Sorry, girls. But we don't.
You guys are brothers, and what made you guys decide to work with each other? I mean, that means more time with each other.
But that's twice the amount of women that we get.
Always looking at the bright side of things. Huh?
Oh yeah, the glass is always half full up in our neighborhood.
Hey, so what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? You guys hanging out with the family?
On the holidays, you always see that uncle you hate, your cousins. They're always stealing stuff, and you're like
asking us for money. Or
I'm like, we're thousandaires, we're not millionaires.
Going through your medicine cabinet.
Oh yeah, like you thought you had Vicodin, not anymore. Not anymore. Aunt Rosa's drinking Thunderbird, eating your Vicodins up. Unwrapping gifts, figuring out what you bought everybody.
Oh, wow.
He's gonna throw out a hat.
Now you guys call it the Dirty Show. Was that like PG-13 what you guys did that night?
Oh, what you saw for us was like Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh wow! Yeah. So it gets dirtier.
Yeah, because we go hard like NASCAR. We go hard in the paint. You know, that's just how we do it. And when you have high energy, and especially when people don't know you, that's the best opportunity for us. You go in there, they think we're dudes from American History X, and then we start talking Spanish and hitting them in the mouth, talking about this and that, and they're surprised, and they're like, man, those Peckerwood funny white boys right there.
By the end of the show, we're hanging out at quinceañeras, and we're drinking Tecate,
eating a 4-piece at Roscoe's. I mean, that's how we do it.
The first time you guys came, it was like I was telling Rico, "Oh, dude, these dudes are some racist dudes right here, man."
We always get that, bro. That makes you racist, bro.
No, I admit I'm racist against everyone, so I think racism is funny.
Yeah. Oh, when we walked in here, I'm like, "Oh man, is this Telemundo Studios?"
See? There we go.
And I'm the racist one, boy. Yeah. Oh, wow.
We would have brought some refried beans for a can drive for you guys. I didn't know we were going to make tortillas and tamales before we leave.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you started this, bro. That's for the record.
You know, so again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, is that we're used to seeing this certain thing from these guys on stage. But then, you know, they've also got, I guess I want to call it a human side to them, you know. So we're not, you know, like I said, going back to Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't always blowing up stuff. You know, he's got the other side too. So, exactly. But yeah, I can hardly wait to open the studio back up and be able to bring people in, because that's just, you know, what I think a lot of the magic that happens on the air is built during the time that we're not talking, when we're playing music or commercials, because sometimes it's just like, oh man, okay, you think of something that they said, you know, and them not knowing the way we think, okay, we're going to bring that up, you know, or we're going to put them on the spot, because we never ever discuss with our guests what we're going to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Rico and Mambo Morning Show, comedian Alfred Robles in the house.
Yeah! What's up? I'm back.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Rico and Mambo Morning Show, comedian Gabriel Iglesias in the house.
Yeah. What's up, Gabe?
Hey, it's loud, man. I'm hungover. Wow, that's a lot of energy this morning.
Hey, dude, you surprised the hell out of me this morning, dog. I looked over and I was like, am I dreaming?
Hey, very rare I can sneak up on somebody.
Hey, man, good to see you, bro. I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been at least 2 exes, and I'm not talking about girlfriends.
But now you guys are like all over the world, man. That's what's amazing.
Yeah, man, everywhere.
I mean,
we're like herpes. We go everywhere twice a year, bro. We show up.
Hey, Alfred. So you're gonna be our little special dilemma today, because there's something going on in your life right now.
Yes.
Is there sex involved?
There was involved. It was involved.
Oh.
Sex was involved in all this?
Wow. I heard all the phone calls.
So, Alfred, please tell us your dilemma. What happened?
Here we go. Okay, I was engaged for 2 years, and my chick just left me. She thought I was cheating on her. And I don't know, should I ask for the ring back or should I just let it go? She thought I was cheating on her, and she caught me a couple of times, but I wasn't really doing anything.
Whoa.
No.
She caught you a couple of times?
I mean, there was one time where I was talking to another girl, and I butt dialed her, and she heard the conversation, but I wasn't doing anything. If she wouldn't have hung up, she would have heard that I didn't do anything. And then the second time, I got caught slipping, dude. I had just came back from the road, and I was tired, and we had bank joint accounts. And I went to a massage parlor, and I paid with my credit card or my ATM.
Oh, should have called me, bro.
Hold on. And a regular massage, I could have got away with it. So she saw the statement, and I paid $60, and then 45 minutes later, I paid $40.
All right. He had a lot of tension in his upper thigh.
Yeah, man.
it's always just it's a crapshoot.
And I think that's what makes it so interesting. It doesn't sound like anything was like I don't know. It's not like you guys had a script. It's just natural, free flowing, and that's why even we're sitting here. I didn't have a single question written out because I got this from you guys. Because I would see you guys. I'm like, because it was probably what 5-6 years ago. I started coming to the studio,
right? And
then I would see you guys. I'm like, oh my god, they really don't. The only time you're looking at a paper is if you guys are talking about an event or a sponsor or something like that. But other than that, it was like everything was just off the top of the head.
So we have what we call, our roadmap that, when we start, there's certain times where we got to go into commercial breaks. There's, we have the 7 a.m. get up mix, which has got to start at 7 o'clock, so there are certain things that we do at certain times, the benchmarks, and people, believe it or not, depend on those. It's like, oh, once I hear the dilemma, I got to be hitting this red light, or, so they kind of position their lives around some of the features that we have. And so, so in that, we do have a piece of paper that I print out every day that says, okay, dilemma, we start it, after 9 o'clock, shortly after 9 o'clock, and then we take a break here and stuff like that. But everything else, the stuff we talk about is just
off the top.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. Sometimes it works great, and other times it's not as great.
So let me ask you a question. You brought up dilemmas. Who picks most of the dilemmas between the two of you?
I do.
I figured.
Look. Okay, look. In my defense, all right, I say this all the time, is that I think that everyone's dilemma is an important dilemma because that's that person's situation. They come to us for whatever reason for help, even though it's all, everybody goes in on whomever writes in the dilemma, but and sometimes, I've heard like that was a stupid one and like, hey, I couldn't agree with you more, but it's someone's dilemma. So now what? I may think that if you were to write one in, it's, like, dude, it's stupid, but it's your dilemma. It's your drama. So,
and honestly, the stupider they are, the funnier they are, the more interesting they are. And sometimes, like, even I'm like, this can't be real. Like, this is made up. And I called Mambo out on it a while ago, and then he's like, nuh-uh. He's like, look right there. And I'm looking. I'm like, it's just email.
Yeah.
He's like, and Facebook. He's like, some people be sending directly from the Facebook, like, no shame in their game.
The ones that we get on Facebook, I just want to get it, copy and paste it, and delete it. I don't want to know anything about you. I don't want to see you, because if I see you on the street,
you're going to think about that dilemma.
It's just going to be weird. And so I don't want to do that. So
you're going to be like, you hooked up with your cousin. You're a weirdo.
But and same goes for emails. When people email it, ricoandamambo@gmail.com, by the way, for your dilemmas. But when people send us their dilemmas, I don't, if you create a fake account, a fake email account, that's on you. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because
it's not your job to go through that.
No. We get them and we destroy them immediately. I don't want to know anything about who it is, because when we go on the air, I don't want to have a biased opinion of who it is that, we're talking about or anything like that. So if I knew it was you, I may have the tendency to just naturally go a little bit lighter on you. It's like, he's probably a good guy, he means well and all this other stuff, where, I'd probably say, come on, man, are you that stupid?
Yeah.
So I just don't want to have that biased opinion. I want to go in on you, or I just want to be free of whatever it is that I say.
What is your favorite dilemma that you've ever had?
Oh, man.
Or some of your top favorites?
I think the one that sticks in my head, and this is, I think Mambo will say it's probably in his top 5, top 3, but I'm going to say this is my top one that will always stick in my head. This was years and years ago that we got. I want to say it was even a fax that we got, so that's how far back.
Fax?
Yeah, bro. So
damn. By the way, they've been in the radio industry for over 25 years together. So damn.
So the guy sends us his dilemma, saying that he had gone away with his girlfriend's family to San Diego, during Thanksgiving, I want to say it was during Thanksgiving, everybody got drunk. They all ended up crashing except for the guy and his girlfriend's mom. They end up hooking up, and I forget what he want. I don't know if he should tell his girlfriend that he hooked up with her mom or what. I mean, but I just remember that, and I'm like,
wow, he hooked up with a girlfriend's mom?
With a girlfriend's mom. Yeah, this was years ago.
I swear, you guys could like write a sitcom just with all these damn dilemmas you guys have listened to.
You know, and we've got, you know, I've got, I'm going to say I've got about 85% of them in one of our computers. And so to go back and look at some of them, I did that as a matter of fact. It was probably about 2 months ago. I was moving stuff around. I'm like, oh, let's look what's in this hard drive. And I looked in there, and there's just this slew of dilemmas. And I'm like, oh, wow. And just to go back, and I want to say, like, some of the innocence that was in it, but I don't know. It's just weird to see just how different we are right now as a society versus what it was back then. But that one that I just told you about, where the guy hooked up with his girlfriend's mom, was one of them that just sticks out.
That's crazy. And then I even heard one where like somebody was like, "Oh my God, my cousin's so hot. I want to hook up with my cousin."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" Like I'm like, "You actually got that?" Like that's just nuts.
But here's the thing: is that people feel comfortable, and thank you for feeling comfortable with us. But people feel comfortable, and they don't care.
Yeah.
They just want
to. Because you know, it's you know, you're not going to say their name. It's going to be completely private.
Right.
And then, you know, obviously, and then the entertainment doesn't stop there. I love your social media on your Instagram and all the propositions that get dropped in the comments.
Yo, you guys are crazy, you know. There is, people go in on those that send in the dilemma, but still people trust us with them. We never reveal the true identity of anyone. So even if someone changes their name to Brad, and, you know, we always change it on top of that, just because we don't know if that's really, you know, who they're saying it is. And even though on the email sometimes it'll come from Brad101 at whatever, you know, we're going to change it. Just I don't want to,
just to be safe.
Yeah, I don't want to take the risk of you know, putting someone's true identity out there, because that's not the, you know, the point of it. The point of it is, here's my situation. What can you do to help me? What would you do if you were in my situation? And that's where we go in or give our say, because we don't give advice, and it just kind of goes from there. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
It can be kind of hurtful sometimes to some people, but
yeah, I mean, it can be. But at the end of the day, is if you're going to put your stuff out there,
right,
and you're listening to it, just be ready. You're going to hear everything.
Exactly. Or the one where, like you just said, of how the cousins, one guy finds his female cousin attractive. Now, what about there's been, I think this happened like 2 or 3 times, where the girl is knocked up from one of the cousins. Yeah.
I've heard that one too.
Yeah. And I'm just like, really? You know, is my kid going to come out, you know, deformed, you know, with birth defects and all this stuff? And hey, we're not doctors, but we'll put it out there.
Wow.
And that's when a lot of people go in on, you know.
You guys should have a day where, like, on a Friday or a special day, or maybe on Rico Mambo Day. By the way, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You know, so what day is Rico Mambo Day? Isn't it coming up soon?
Yeah, I want to say it's the latter part of September 20 something, the latter part of September.
That's pretty cool. How it was by Ventura County, or was it?
Yeah, Ventura County.
So Ventura County has an official Rico Mambo Day.
Yeah, you can believe that.
For putting up, you know, my cousin's hooking up with my cousin, baby.
It's all because of you.
It's all. Yeah, thank you for putting in your dilemmas.
Yeah.
Again, if somebody has a dilemma, where do they need to email you?
ricoandmambo@gmail.com. That's RICANDMAMBO. Wait, RICO. I can't even spell. RICOANDMAMBO@gmail.com, and we'll get it and get to it as soon as we can.
Yeah, man.
So that's where it's at, man. And you know what? Honestly, we've only survived this time. We've only been here for 25 years because of the support from the community, because of the support from all of our listeners. And that's why we do the what we do, because we do have that support. We do the 805 Spotlight. We go out and help the community do what it is that, whatever they need our help with, because if we don't have listeners, we can't continue to do our job. And we've been doing it for going on 25 years. So that's why, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you, and we couldn't be here without them. Seriously.
And at the end of the day, is you guys do it from the heart, and it's easy to tell. Even as a young, not even adult, young kid when I was listening to you guys, for what it was like 20 plus years ago.
Right.
It was always something about listening to you guys that felt real.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I jumped around from station to station when you guys moved around.
Right.
And it was just something about you guys that it just always felt genuine.
I will say this. I've worked at other stations. I've worked with other people, as a team, and it never felt as genuine as it always has with Mambo. And that's because I think in some way, shape, or form, we completely understand one another. But it is genuine. When we get pissed off, it's genuine. When we're happy and laughing, it's genuine laughter. Yeah. We don't, sometimes people, cause I do have kind of a silly laugh or whatever, but sometimes people just say, hey, just do that laugh.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
It's just natural. It happens when it happens.
It happens when it happens.
It's like, make me laugh, motherfucker.
Nah,
say something funny. Say something funny and I'll laugh.
No, yeah. And I can't do that. We can't do that.
Yeah.
If we're sitting there and just a joke comes out, and sometimes we don't even, just because of the way we think, we don't even mean to be funny. Because honestly, we've always thought this. We don't think we're funny. If you find something that we said funny, then it's funny to you.
Yeah.
But we just, I don't know if we're just.
I mean, it's just like when you guys just talk shit back and forth. Yeah. And the other thing is like your guys' personalities are very different, right? Which is what's awesome, because if you have two of the same personalities, it doesn't mesh.
Yeah, exactly.
You're laid back. Mambo's more like kind of in your face, but both of you bring high energy, but in your own way.
Right.
Now, obviously, the industry is kind of transforming where now I kind of have my own little radio show, right, as a podcast, and a lot of people that listen have their own podcast or starting up their own podcast. A lot of people are starting up their own businesses, right, and you have the experience in both. Now, what are a couple of your top 5 advices you'd give to somebody starting their own business or their own podcast? What knowledge, powerful knowledge, can you drop?
Wow, I'm gonna say, first of all, if it's a dream, if it's something you want, go get it. You're gonna have haters along the road that are gonna say, "Don't do it because you suck. Don't do it because I don't like you." And you know what? There's people who smile in your face and stab you in the back. There's an old school song that says that, and it's very true. Always try to put out something that's quality. Don't settle for good enough, because good enough never is. Always try to put out the very best. Research as much as you can when it comes down to, from buying equipment, whether it's a microphone, camera, lights, computers and stuff like that. And sometimes we got to start, because even like when I started doing sound, I started with what I could afford at that point, and then little by little I started buying bigger and better things, and you'll get to that point. So do the best you can with what you've got. Sometimes I think like the one mistake that a lot of DJs make, because I used to DJ a lot of weddings years and years ago. I haven't done one in a long time, but I think that one of the biggest misconceptions that DJs have is that they're going to go to a bride or a groom and say, "Hey, I've got brand XYZ. I have the best stuff. That's why you need to hire me." Well, you know what? You can have the best stuff, but if you suck as a DJ, it doesn't matter what stuff you got. Now, if you can rock a party and you got the crappiest stuff, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know that you got some crappy stuff. It's what you do. So if you've got it, then you've got it, and make it happen. Make the best of it until you're able to get all the stuff that you need to get. So, research and just go in there and kick ass.
And put in work.
Yeah, work, definitely.
I mean, every single time, every single episode you do, you get better.
Yeah.
Every single time you're on that mic, you got better.
Yeah.
Over the years, you learned,
yeah.
you grew.
Yep.
So
I mean, if you go back and we were just talking about this on the air the other day, back when Mambo and I first started together, boy, I used to talk so fast, and for whatever reason, that was my style. I just used to talk super fast, and now, it's more of a conversation where he and I are talking. It's still a party every day, 6 to 10 a.m. But now it's just like, all right, that's not what we're doing here, know. So
hey, making adjustments.
Yeah,
that's with every business and anything somebody does is you learn what you're doing good and improve upon the things that you can improve upon.
And be different, because like you said, if Mambo and I were the same person,
it would not work out.
Yeah, you wouldn't need, you'd only need one person. So be different. Look at what other people do in business. There's a buddy of mine, Chris, who one time told me, one of the best things that I did in my life was I went and I shadowed this person who he admired. That he had a nice house, cars, he had everything. So what he did is he said, "Hey, I want to work for you. Can I work for you for a couple of months? But you don't have to pay me."
That's the smartest thing ever.
And the guy says, "No, I'll pay you." He says, "I don't want your money. I want your knowledge." So Chris, lo and behold, went and shadowed this guy for a couple of months. The guy didn't pay him, ended up paying him at the end of 2 months and said, "Hey, thanks for your work." So, and he learned everything about him. Now this guy is beyond successful. So look at what other people are doing. And, you're going to look at other podcasts or listen to other podcasts and radio stations, stuff like that. Pick and choose what you want from different people, what you think is the best from that person and that other person, and then make it yours.
Facts.
Create your own, your own identity, I guess. And, like you were saying earlier that, Mambo's more in your face, and I'm definitely way opposite of what he is, where I'm going to lay back and, let life happen. So, create your own lane, despite of how many lanes there are on the road, there's still room for your lane, whatever that may be.
100%. Facts right there.
Yeah.
Now, a while back, didn't you used to do like a late night show and you used to be like the Love Doctor or something?
Yeah, that was a long time.
I think our audience needs to hear the Love Doctor, bro. I'm putting you on the spot right here.
Man. I don't know. It was just...
How did that... What was that about? Because I hear Mambo talking about it, like busting your balls about it, but I've never so when was this? When did you do the Love Doctor thing?
So it was, let me see, years and years ago when I first started, it was called the Love Line, then it was the Love Pad. And it was just playing slow songs and dedications, and yeah, it's all about technique and how you work the mic and your levels and stuff like that, and you just, kind of decompress for a minute or two, and yeah,
we gotta throw you got to do a Love Line right here, bro. I'm a cheers to that. I gotta hear it.
Oh man, I don't even know how to.
Come on, bro! You're getting shy on the mic now. We got a radio legend in the building getting shy on the mic now.
Oh man, I don't know.
Come on, bro!
I feel like a complete fool.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make you look like a fool real quick.
Well, first I'd get up real close to the mic and kind of. It's weird of me looking at you.
Okay.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Look.
All right, there. We're sitting here sipping with Sky. Just sip, sip, and sip away. Okay, that's it. Okay.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
You were getting somewhere. You were getting somewhere, bro.
Yeah, but it was dedications and you know, you'd catch people at their lowest point sometimes in life, and you know, you'd sit there and you talk to them and you try to
bring them up.
Yeah, uplift them, and you play their song and their dedication because they miss their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their wife, their husband, whoever it is, and yeah, it was interesting.
And it was crazy. It's like a lot of times is I've heard them before. Not obviously I wasn't listening to you at that time. Right. I was really young back then.
Right.
But a lot of times is they'll be like giving shout outs to their significant other who's in jail and stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've heard that a lot with you guys used to have a syndicated program on like the older guy. What's his name?
Art LeBeau.
Art LeBeau.
Right.
And then I would hear a couple of them drops, and I was like, oh, dang.
So even, gosh, when I started back in the 80s, I used to get a lot of mail from either, you know, from jails saying, hey, you know, we listened to you from this time to this time. Can you send a shout out or a dedication to my wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you know? Or it would be quite the opposite of somebody who was on the outside would send us, you know, either give us a call or send us a letter or something saying, hey, my boyfriend, husband, somebody is locked up. They listen to you while they're doing commissary or, you know, they're whatever it is that they're doing. Can you give them a shout out at 8:10 or whatever it is?
That's so cool.
So, you know, again, we can't do what we do without you. And so we've got to do that, you know. If it's just going to take a moment to. You know,
I mean, imagine like how that affects somebody's life while they're sitting there, they're locked up, they're away from their loved ones,
right? And
they hear that message. That's dope.
Well, you know, we're all about, you know, putting smiles and, you know, just we like to think of ourselves as the guys who take you away from what reality is, because let's face it, the news. Oh. Right? Okay, that right there says enough. So if we're able, just for those 4 hours, which we call just for the moment, if we're able to take you away from all that into our own stupid world and make you laugh, we have done our job. We have done our job. And we don't know that you're laughing, though. We know we're laughing sometimes, most of the time.
I know I'm laughing so hard half the time in here when I was opening the store.
Right.
That like my cheeks were, and then I would have customers that just hang out. And we'd just listen like for like 5-10 minutes. They're on their break or they got a few more minutes till they get to work. We just chop it up listening. So I mean, it's it definitely it takes you away from the stresses of life.
Right.
To put a smile on your face. And once you start smiling in the day, and then the smile style, you smile to other people, they smile back, and it's just contagious. So it's great to start off the day with a good laugh. And thanks for doing it, because I've been a huge fan from yours since like I said, I was a little kid.
Well, thank you, man. It's an honor. You know, we don't take it for granted. And I don't know, when we first started, we had no idea that whether it was going to last a month, 2 months, a year, and here we are going on 25 years.
It's crazy
of doing radio. So we're lucky, man. We're lucky. We're real lucky.
Well, you guys keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
It's inspiring. It's inspired me.
Thank you, man. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Well, you too, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate a great beer.
Right.
I appreciate a great Perrier.
Perrier, right? You know, I had to have the Perrier because every single time I go on, I bring beer for a non-alcoholic beer for Mambo.
Right.
And I bring Perrier for you because you don't drink beer.
Yeah.
Right. And then I was excited that you're going to actually have a beer with me today. So
yeah, I don't think that you really thought that I was going to have a beer with you, though, did you?
I didn't. I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, no, cheers, man. Yeah. I may not finish it, but
hey, at least you had a beer with me.
Yeah.
This is probably the first beer we've ever had together.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've sipped one. You've smelled many beers.
Yeah.
You're like, can I smell it?
Is that weird that I do that?
No, it's not, because when I drink beer, I smell it before I drink it.
Right.
And you can actually pick up the notes and the citrus or whatever it is.
Right.
So I it's not weird to me.
Okay.
Because I'm a craft beer drinker, and
Cause see, I learned that from when I was in the beer industry, and we'd go to the beer shows, real small beer shows, and I used to love to smell the beers more than I liked to taste the beers, even though back then I was drinking, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But so whenever I come across a beer, it's like, oh, let me smell it, So if it's weird, if I do that to you, I'm not a weirdo, okay? Really. I'm not. But yeah, man. So.
But it was an honor to have a beer with you. Honor to have an 805 legend in the building and on my podcast.
Thank you very much.
So
man.
I want to say thanks for everything you do, brother. I love you.
I love you too.
You're the man.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks a lot.
Sippin' with Sky.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in to Sippin' with Sky. Please don't forget to like, comment, share it with a friend, and subscribe. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at Sippin' with Sky. Cheers! We'll see you on the next one.